Hello. Look at me glowing. This glow is from doing something for the second time. I mean, not like literally, but also yes. Actually, it is accurate. Um yeah, I posted a video yesterday talking about how I went to this park and I went skating. I did like a lap around a lake and I felt so great after. You could literally tell in the video. It was like that euphoria of joy and happiness, of that feeling of like I can do anything, because I can. But it's funny how sometimes the second time you do something actually kind of feels harder, because I feel like I'm really, at this point in my life, I'm really good at doing something for the first time if I know I don't have to return back and do it again. So if I like embarrass myself, I'm like, whatever, I'm never seeing these people again. I feel like it definitely has to do with the people in the situation. But doing something a second time, and then, third time, whatever, fourth time, fifth time, honestly feels a little more challenging, because it's like, what if I show up and that same couple that walked past me yesterday sees me today? Which, like, probably wouldn't even be a bad experience, but the anxiety of something like that, it's wild how it was making me dread going back to the same park that I went to yesterday. But I made it there. Literally, I was not in the mood, or felt like I wasn't in the mood. Although I just watched this, it was like this excerpt from Emma Chamberlain's podcast. There's like this channel called Emma's Updates, which I'm not even an Emma Chamberlain fan. She began popping off when I was in high school, because I think we're actually like the same age, or a couple years, give or take. I was definitely aware of her. I saw her like in her early days, right? And yeah, I've just never like followed her since. She's not, well, I thought she wasn't my type of content, but actually, I don't know. She was kind of relatable. Which I guess is her whole thing, maybe? No, it can't be. I don't know. Anyway, I saw a clip from her podcast and she was talking about discipline, and it kind of reminded me of when I talked about like inconsistency a little in a video a couple days ago, I guess. Maybe it was a week ago. I think it's a couple days ago. And she was talking about like that balance between, oh my god, I can't remember the exact word she used, where it's like sometimes you like need to push through that, like, wait, sometimes discipline is required, where it's like, oh, I don't feel like doing this, but let me push through and do it. But other times you need to honor, like, maybe you're feeling burnt out, maybe you really need rest, maybe you're like sad and you really need to honor that. And she was saying what she does in the situations where she can't tell if she's like, if she genuinely needs to take the day off, is that she'll begin doing it, and if it's not making her feel better, then she'll like be like, that's a wrap, and like let herself rest. And I actually thought that was really good, because like it still gives you a way to be like, nah, I actually need a rest, but also it gives you the opportunity to see if maybe just a little more discipline was needed in that moment. Because this is how I felt today, where it's like, once I actually got there and I began doing it, the first 30 seconds I was embarrassed again. Like, I think more embarrassed than yesterday, actually, because there was more people at the park, and I was like, oh my god. And it's just a little awkward, like, sharing a sidewalk with people where, like, I don't want to bonk into them, but I can't really go in a straight line right now, at least not consistently, so I have been trying to like get off my board every time someone walks towards me, because people will have their dogs and their children, um, and yeah, it just is a little awkward, because sometimes they'll be walking towards me and I'll get off, and then we're just like staring at each other as we pass. Um, Other times I'll hear them from behind me. So, yeah, I just saw there was more people when I pulled up, and I was like, oh. And then literally one of the first people, like as soon as I got out and I began do my thing, this woman in front of me, I think it was a dog in her like stroller, but she kept turning around and staring at me, and um and her husband or partner, whatever, kept turning around looking at me too, like middle-aged vibes, like could be Karen vibes. And yeah, all I said was like, don't worry, I'm not gonna hit you. And yeah, after I said that and I continued carrying on with my lap, actually felt really good, and I did not regret it at all. It By the end I was having fun again. Like, it reminds me when I was a kid and I used to go to the park on a bicycle and just bike laps, and I remember like, oh, it was just so fun, like feeling the wind in your face, and it's just been so beautiful outside. So yeah, it was just a moment where I had that little bit of discipline. I pushed through it, I pulled up, saw the people, felt the dread, and I still did it. And um yesterday I was like, oh, I need to reward myself, and I did reward myself, and I rewarded myself today, but I don't think I actually need to continue doing that, because the reward is the feeling of like, wow, I did that. And yeah, it was just really cool. And yeah, I guess I don't even have like a solution. Not that like I need to have a solution, but like this idea of the second time being harder than the first, it's like, well, what do we do about that? It's like, I guess you just do it. You just accept it and you go through it, and you have a little bit of discipline. But I think what's really important is passion, where it's like, if this is something you really, really want to do, like, you can do it, and you're going to feel great after you do it. If it's something you're not passionate about, then like I say, don't force yourself to do it. But that does have to do with my brain, I think. Like, I actually literally cannot do things I am not passionate about. I mean, I kind of can. I'm on meds for ADHD, so that does help. But like, I still, it's not like I'm not doing a great job too. Like, I think about my job, to be honest, where it's like, that is not like, I love being here, I'm so passionate about this. But yeah, there is like a little bit of gray area there, but I think in general, like, if you don't want to do something and it's like external like pressure that's making you feel like you need to do it, then that's when it's like, no, I don't ever want to do this again, and then that's cool. But for me, it's like, oh, I want to do this, but I'm so scared of being judged, and then you do it anyway. And I know it's literally just exposure therapy. Has anyone else seen that video? Was it like an Instagram reel or YouTube short? Maybe it's just a good old TikTok, but I don't use TikTok, so it might have like migrated to the other social medias. But there's this person who does exposure therapy and like films themselves doing it, which I don't know if that would be considered cheating. I don't want to like invalidate this person's exposure therapy, but I'm like, knowing that like the internet's gonna be like, wow, you're so awesome, I feel like could be cheating. I'm not saying it is, but could be. What was I saying? Oh yeah, there was just this video of this person like walking up to people in like this random craft store or like Joann's in the yarn aisle, and they're like, "Oh, could I throw yarn at you?" And then the next clip is like them, the people they asked to throw the yarn at, them getting hit with yarn, and it was really good. It was inspirational. It didn't get me out of the house that day though. That was not the day where I was like, I'm gonna begin skateboarding. For me, I just had to be bored with life. Boredom, you gotta let yourself get bored, I think. If you're feeling, I think, because a lot of people will like let the boredom kind of sit on the back burner and like use, especially like social media, the internet, maybe TV even, like stimulation to distract from the boredom. But let yourself feel that boredom. Let yourself realize that your soul just needs some kind of change. And I think if it's really something you're passionate about, that will be enough to do it. I don't know. I'm not like a motivational speaker. I feel like sometimes I just begin talking and I'm like, wait, I'm literally just sharing my experiences, but it could be helpful, it could not be, but just know that if you're like me, as in you're a person who wants to try something, but you're really scared to do it, or you have a lot of anxiety about doing it, and like doing it in public and being perceived as a whole thing, just know that I'm out here too, pushing through. And together, we are going to learn this new skill or this new hobby, and we're gonna have so much fun doing it. And we're gonna be so proud of ourselves. Okay. Um, me and I was about to call him a squid. Me and the octopus will depart now.